Okay. So, chapter 3, that's the Akhyata Prakaranam. So, after the nouns, Jiva Goswami has taken the Akhyata Prakaranam, the verbs, the conjugations of verbs, the declensions, how by taking the Prakriti, the root, verbal root, plus the Akhyata Pratyayas, the Tibadis. So, just like there are Pratyayas in the previous chapter, Su, Aujas, Aushas, and so on. Similarly, there is a set of pratyayas, the akhyat pratyayas here in this chapter. And do you know how many are they? In the previous chapter, there were 21, or plus the Sambodhanas, so 24. So in this chapter, we have 180 pratyayas, 180. Uh, because verbs are divided as per the tenses like past, present, future. And in Sanskrit, there are a couple of different classifications as well. So, yeah, 180 pratyayas are there, which means each dhatu would be having 180 forms at least. So, when I'm saying at least, that means each dhatu would have more than 180 forms. But need not worry, this chapter 3 is the biggest chapter, the largest in the whole Harinama Vyakaranam. Um, yeah, so we'll go slow and we'll try to study properly. One more thing is that in the grammar, when we take any word in Sanskrit, mostly, so even the nouns are made up from the verbal roots. Even the nouns are made up from the verbal roots. For example, let's say uh, yeah, so even the nouns are made up from, like for example, Krishna, the noun Krishna. So that is made up of the verbal root Krish, Krishir Alekne, Vikarshne Alekne cha. So, and then we add a pratyay and it becomes Krishna. So studying this chapter is very important in order to grasp the essential of the whole book. So even though it is long, but it is very essential throughout. So yeah, we begin with this verse here. Pravartante kriyah sarva yator vachi vastushu hares tasyaiva leelasta nirupyante yathamat. So all actions currently directed towards material objects originally emanate from Hari. Jiva Goswami is saying that all the actions, when he says actions, it means all the verbs which denote an action, right? Like for example, khadati, to eat. So eating is an action, walking is an action, and so on. So all these actions which are directed towards material objects, right? So they originally come out or emanate from Lord Hari. Because in the Shastras, even in Bhagavatam, it is said that it is originally the Lord who does the activities, right? It is said, I think, in second or the third canto, if I remember rightly, that when Lord Hari breathes in and breathes out, so the jivas they can do the same activity. When he so like that. So Lord Hari, from him emanates all the activities, and they are actually his pastimes. And then Jiva Goswami says that I will describe them as per my understanding, Yathamat. So now the Vishnupadas produced from Dhatus are going to be described. Vishnupadas are of two kinds. One which are made, Vishnupadas are the final form, right, after declension. So one type of Vishnupada is from the nouns, Nama Jani Vishnupadani, from the nouns which we got like Krishna, Krishnau, Krishna, ityadi. So those are Nama Vishnupadas. And here uh, the Vishnupadas which are produced from the dhatus. For example, bhavati, bhavatah, bhavanti, patati, patatah, patanti, and so on. Bhu sanantadya dhatavah. Just a second, please. Bhu sanantadya dhatavah. Who and so on and sun and so on are called um, dhatus. Okay. So let me explain it. So who sanantadya dhatavah. Now there are two kinds of dhatus. The first kind you can say as the primary dhatus. For example, who, but, what else? Tree, ityadi. And then there are the secondary dhatus. Secondary dhatus are dhatus such as so secondary dhatus are the primary dhatus only. For example, dhru, but, tree, and so on. It's just that there are some pratyas, some modifiers which are added to these dhatus, and then they become a new dhatu. For example, if I add here sun, so by adding this sun, we get uh, we get um, bubhusha. Anyhow, let's take, yeah, we get some bubhusha. And then bubhusha becomes a dhatu, and then we define it. Similarly, if we add ni, then it becomes party, and so on. Three, we add, let's see, yeah, ni again. So they are different. pratyas, then it becomes Tari, and then we decline it. So like that, primary dhatus and the secondary dhatus, two kinds of dhatus. So Bhusanantadya dhatava, Bhusatayam and so on, and those that end in pratyas and so on and so on dhatus. In the Sankshodhani, you can read further. Okay, one more thing here, that these primary dhatus are divided into 10 classes, 10 groups. Yeah, 10 classes or 10 groups. Um, so first class is Bhwadi, Bhwadi Gana. It's Bhwadi Gana. Gana means class. So Bhwadi Gana is a class where a particular type of dhatus are gathered, collected. Bhadidadi. Then second kind is Adadi Gana, Bhadidadi, Vibhutyadi. Then um, Vadi Gana, Divadi Gana, Swadi Gana, Bhadidadi, Vibhutyadi, Vadi, Vadi, Sudadi Gana, Dudhadishta, Dudhadi Gana, Tanadi Gana, Priyadi Gana, and Churadi Gana. So these are the 10 ganas, 10 classes, which the primary dhatus are divided into. Now, a question naturally comes at this point of time. What are these different ganas about? Why there is a difference? And like what is the importance? So basically, all these different ganas, the dhatus are there, different dhatus. The way of declension is almost the same for all the dhatus in all the ganas, but there is a way to recognize the final form by seeing the final form of a dhatu that which gana it belongs to. Let's say you're reading something in shloka and you come across a verb, right? A Vishnupada. Then by seeing that dhatu itself, you will tell, one can tell which gana it is from. So, so there is a different element which is added, which we'll discuss ahead as we move on. So that's one thing. Okay, so we begin the dhatus. So this is the pattern that chart would be shown in. In Akhyata, just like the verbs in other subjects as well, we have the vachana, singular, dual, plural. The dual is something which we have in Sanskrit only, I believe. Then, like we have first person, second person, third person. So here also we have the same pattern. So third person is called Prathama Purusha here. So that's quite odd. And Prathama means first and third means third. So how come? So it's just the English thing. In Sanskrit, Prathama Purusha means the third person, like he, she, it, any name, any object, you say, no? Then second person is the Madhyama Purusha. Like if I'm talking to you, let's say Prabhuji or Mataji, then you are the second person for me. And first person is the Uttama Purusha, which is I myself, the Uttama Purusha. So, okay, so the above three rows will have the pratyas pertaining to the third person in Ekvachana, Dvivachana, Bahuvachana. Like he, for if I say he, then Ekvachana here. If I say he, then this one, this is the block for the pratyaya, for the form. They both, they all. You both, you all. I, we both, all of us. Right? In that pattern. Okay, now there will be two sutras, around 10 of them, um, which will introduce us to the to the pratyayas actually of this chapter of Akhyata Prakarana. So we'll do one sutra today and then we'll resume tomorrow. Um, so tatra prayo vartamana kale hivadayo shtadashachita namana. Just like in second chapter, we just learned how to decline the nouns. We didn't actually learn where to use them, in which senses and all, in which meanings. So of course, that will be described in chapter 4. Same here in chapter 3 for the Akhyata. It won't really be described here mm, where we will be using which verb and so on. We'll be mainly focusing on the declension, the conjugation of the verbs, with the pratyaya, and then we make the final forms. So for this also, for this chapter also, the meanings and all, the usage places will be described in the next chapter. So that's one point. But still, some suggestions are given here, some hints are given here where to use them. Um, so the 18 pratyayas, so there are 10 groups here. So each group will have 18 pratyayas, so 18 into 10, 180. So the 18 pratyayas beginning from tip are applied after a dhatu in present tense generally. So this is sutra. These are the 18 pratyayas for which will be applied in present tense. Vartman kal. Generally, when it says generally, it means that these pratyayas are also applied in some other senses as well, but mainly in present tense. And all these pratyayas are called the achyut pratyayas. Achyut pratyayas. Panini call them the lat lakar, lat lakar. But Harinama Vyakaranam, Jiva Goswami calls them achyut pratyayas. So achyut pratyayas refer to the Vartaman Kala pratyayas. So now these are the 18 pratyayas you see in these two tables. There are further two classifications, Parapada and Atmapada. So hmm, yes, so these 18 pratyayas in each under each heading are divided into two groups of 9 each. One group is called Parapada and another group is called Atmapada. Um, so these concepts of Parapada Pratyayas and Atmapada Pratyayas will be described ahead after 15 sutras. Mm, yeah, so for the time being, just take them as Parapada Pratyayas, the 9 of them, and Atmapada Pratyayas, the 9 of them. So the Parapada Pratyayas, or the Achyut Parapada Pratyayas are Pit thus Anti, Pit thus Tha, Mip was Mas. And the Atmapada Pratyayas are Te, Ate, Ante, Se, Athe, Ve, E, Vahe, Mahe. Okay. So you will have to memorize these pratyayas. Otherwise, uh, if we don't know the pratyayas, then we won't be able to decline ahead. It will take some time, of course, to memorize these pratyayas, 180 of them, but it will be done. Not a big issue. So I'll ask you to memorize as many pratyayas as you can. At least memorize these 18 and the next three set of 18. So basically 18 into 4 or 18 into 5. Try to memorize half of them, 90 pratyayas. So yeah, Stipta Santistam Vipasmas. It's like if you remember one table, Patati Patata Patanti, right? So Patati Patata Patanti. So the ending, if you see Patati Patata patanti, patasi, patata, patata, patami, patava, patama. So these are the endings. These are the pratyas added after the verbal root, and then we get those final forms. Just for an example. Okay, so please memorize these pratyas, and then we'll continue tomorrow ahead. Any question here? Like anything here?
No, Prabhu.
Okay, so we'll resume tomorrow then, and we'll also tell the so after Madhuri sends the paper, then I'll check and I'll respond with the answers.
Yes, yes, Prabhu.
So we'll resume tomorrow. Thank you. Hare
Thank you.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.